Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today we are going to jump right into my 2021 Project Life album. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen that I am also doing 2020 at the same time. So I'll be doing week 1 for both years and then week 2 for both years. I just think that while I have the products out that may be a little bit more month or season specific, that it would be easier and take much less time in the end to go ahead and do them at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do. I also decided for the 2020 videos that I would just let them live over on IGTV. And for the part that would normally be sped up here in the process video, I'm speeding it up like 10 times. So it is a super sped up version over there. The first video is a little longer because I'm kind of going into the who, what, when, where, and why of Project Life and how I found out about it. The rest of them will be much shorter, not as much explanation will be needed. So you can always check those out over there, and I will also always have a post that shows all the page, the close-ups, the journaling, if you choose to read it and all of that. So for 2021, these videos will be here on my YouTube channel as a regular process video where I talk to you, speed you up, and then talk to you again. So that will be found here for 2021. I am using this black and white striped album. It is also from scrapbook.com, just like the one that I'm using for 2020. Still wanted to stay with the 12 by 12. There's just something kind of nostalgic about these. I like the weight of turning those pages with them filled with pictures. So that's what I'm going to stick with now. After doing 2 years worth, I may decide to change formats next year. But for now, I'm happy to be in the 12 by 12. And I will still be doing just that, typical 4 by 6 on the top and bottom, and then the four 3x4s across the middle. And this album does have a very pretty gold polka dot, a small one on the inside. And I just had a hard time deciding which album I liked. So even though I normally like things to be more matchy, I'm kind of okay with my albums having a little bit of life of their own. So this is what I went with. I shared this in the other video that I'm using Crystal Idanyate's planning sheets. I love them, and I use them almost every time I do something. And so I'm doing week 1 for 2020 and 2021 together to save some paper. And that way I can go ahead and, as I'm looking at my pictures, I make smart albums in my Apple Photos on my computer, so I can say pull in all the photos in this date range, and it'll make its own little folder. So as I'm perusing through all of those photos, it's nice to be able to kind of go ahead and jot down the ones I want to use, and then it also lets me know what size I need to print them at, because I do print at home. So this week was all standard size pictures. There may be some weeks where, I have a little smaller one, a square one that I back up with a journal card or something. So, we'll just play it by ear. I may not always stick with the same layout. I may do some 9 by 12 pages, or I have some different configurations of the 12 by 12. So we'll just see. There may be inserts. You never can tell what I might come up with. So for my title card, I am using, or what I'm hoping to use, is this week cards from the Ali Edwards Stories by the Year kit. And it has a rainbow of colors, and there are, I think, 3 or 4 of each of the colors. I'm assuming it's enough to get you through the year if you use one every week. I did not count. But even though some of these colors are not necessarily what I'm drawn to and may not always show up in my photos, I'm going to do my best to let that be the consistent item through this whole album. So I will do my best. I don't know if these are available digitally. I did not look at that, but I might need to check that and see, because it would be awesome to be able to change the color on the background. But if not, I'm going to make it work one way or the other. Now for this week, I pulled out some Citrus Twist Kit products. My cards are going to be from Citrus Twist Kits, as well as I'm going to use some of these puffy embellishments to put on to my photos. I am going to, in fact, last night I went ahead and purchased the digital kit for January of 2021, or actually it might have been left from 2020 because she's changing up the way she's offering the digitals, and I'm confusing myself, so I'm sure I'm confusing you. But anyway, I am going to also need to supplement my Stories by the Month kits from last year with some digitals and some products from other companies to be able to do 2 years at the same time. So I am going to stop talking and get you put on fast forward and see if I can get this one put together. All right, let's do it. Okay, now that all of that explanation is done for both the 2020 and 2021 plans for my Project Life spreads, hopefully I won't have to go through all of that at the beginning of the videos anymore, and that'll take out some of this extra time. So I had already chosen my photos, had them edited and cut down, and I had already selected my journaling cards as well. And for the title card, I went with that black one because I had that fire pit picture down there that I'm working on right now. And I just thought it kind of helped to balance it out. And also, none of the other colors really seemed to match my spread for this week, so that's what I went with. So right now I'm using some different Citrus Twist Kit little sets or from different collections or kits. And I'm just adding things on. The one that I put over there on the Archer and Olive journal, I'm changing it right now from the top to the bottom because I didn't like that all three across the middle had something at the top. And it says fun. The one that I put on our cat there in the cooler, it says unforgettable moment. And then it's just a little chevron banner on the one with my little doggy, Ellie. Then the picture at the bottom, the 4x6, was our first date night of 2021, and we went to a place called Fox City Brewing, and so we took a picture back in the brewery where you can go and see what's happening, and the lighting was awful in there, so the picture's not great, but it's a memory, and it's there, and it's documented. And then on the fire pit, I just put a little puffy sticker that says this view. And I also chose to put a heart up there above this week just to kind of bring some of that teal color that I am using on all of the journaling cards. And I used those because they also had some pink in them, and I had a couple of photos there with pink. So I was trying to kind of tie it all together that way. So I'm going back now and stapling. All of these are puffy stickers, and I love to staple a puffy sticker. I like just the way it gives it a little bit more texture and dimension to do that. So now I took all of my journaling cards off to the side and did hand journaling. It would have been pretty difficult to set up all three different templates just to get these cards done on the computer, so I just did handwriting, and it's not what I typically do, but that's okay. So I grabbed my title card. I'm double checking what dates I had written down on my planning sheet up there, and then I'm just going to get those stamped in place. And I really think hard about putting a little heart between a puffy heart between the date range, but it just seemed too much with the one up there above this week. So I just did the Dearly D technique of drawing a little heart by hand in between the date range, and I did include the 1st through the 9th in this first week, just to be able to start fresh on the next Sunday with another week instead of having those 2 days be by themselves. So I'm now going to take these 3x4 cards that are in the 4x6 pockets and just adhere them down to a thinner weight cardstock. It's not copy paper and it's not a heavy cardstock. It's just kind of a mid-weight. And getting those placed together. Do a little trim up. I think I need to change out my trimmer blade. It's getting a little fuzzy on the edge. And I'm going to do the same thing to the one at the bottom, and then that is going to finish us out this week. So I'll be back here to close you out in just a second. Okay, y'all, that is where we are calling this one done. I think this one came together fairly quickly as well, like the one that I did for 2020. I think the longest part, or I know the longest part, was selecting the photos and then editing them to the size and getting those printed out. That definitely took the most time of any of this. And I probably will mention in the voiceover, but I did hand journaling on these since they all three had lines and none of the lines were the same size. The spacing between them, it would have been a lot to set up 3 templates for these cards. And so I just went ahead and did hand journaling, even though that is typically not my preference to do. So, with that said, I appreciate you stopping by today to watch my process. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up down below. There will be photos over on Instagram of the spread, as well as some close-ups at the end of the video. I will link some things down below in the description box, so be sure to check that out. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and be here with me as I share videos each week. So I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.